So we have Ashley here today, and she's going to share with us her fitness journey. So we're just going to ask Ashley to just introduce herself, tell us where she's from, what she does, and all the other good stuff in between about who you are.
Yeah. Hey everyone. Yeah, so I'm Ashley. As Chanel said, I'm 34. I am from Georgia and I currently live in North Carolina. As far as like stuff about me, background, I've worked in TV news for about 8 years as a news producer, and then I got out of that industry and got into college admissions for a little bit, and then still trying to figure out my niche. So I decided to go back to grad school. So right now I'm getting my master's in communications at UNC Charlotte, and it's been a great experience. I'm also a teaching and research assistant. That's what I do for work as well while I'm in grad school. Yeah, I'm just happy to be here this morning.
I didn't know you worked for a TV company before. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I work for in the southeast, so a station, a couple different stations for ABC and CBS.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So, what made you start your fitness journey?
Yeah, so my fitness journey, it has been a lot of ups and downs. I've struggled with weights like my whole life, of course. That's cliche story, but it's a lot of ups and downs. I've lost weight a few different times, lost and gained weight, but this past time, this is probably like the most I've been consistent. In trying to lose weight, and the most I've lost it at once. So I started about last summer. I had been diagnosed previous to that with Graves' disease, which is like an autoimmune disease with hyperthyroidism. And then I also had high blood pressure. I was pre-diabetic, and I just was feeling bad all the time. And it was something that I had been trying to like get going like for a couple of years now, since I had found out I had those issues, and my weight kept going up as well. And I finally just like got to the point I knew I was going to be starting grad school previous to that, because it's like a 2-year program. So I was just like, you know what, this is a good time for me to make a change. I'm leaving my job. I'm going back to grad school. I also had lost like an important relationship at the time in my life. And it just was like, and then in particular, I caught a picture of myself that was taken on the 4th of July. And it was candid. My nephew took it. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, no one told me that I had gained so much weight. Like, you know it, but to like see a picture of yourself, and I know that's like a turning point for a lot of people, but it just made me go even harder. And I kind of was like, okay, Ashley, like you have to stop doing this. You can't continue to live in your life in this unhealthy way, just eating what you want, not consistently working out. So honestly, coupled with that picture and knowing that I was starting like a new job in school, I kind of like went cold turkey. Honestly, I was just like, I'm about to start working out every day. I'm going to change the way that I'm eating. I'm about to stop eating out right now. I'm just going to cook everything I eat. And I did it in a way where I didn't follow any particular plan. I just was, because like I said, I've kind of been in this world back and forth for a while. So I kind of was like, okay, I'm going to eat fresh whole foods. And so I kind of just started doing it. And then from there, it led to me, I think over 6 or 7 months, I lost about 70 pounds from my highest, just making those changes. And then, yeah, so that's kind of like why I got started. And then I'm happy to say now, like I'm no longer, I'm on blood pressure medicine. And then I also no longer am pre-diabetic. And then I'm almost in remission for my thyroid issues as well.
That's
so
great.
Yeah, so definitely made a difference. I'm still on the journey. I still want to lose another like 50 pounds. I'm pretty tall, but I like still like for my health would like still like continue to lose weight. So yeah, so that's kind of like what made me get started and kind of like the trajectory of. And then now I'm kind of more in a maintenance phase because I haven't been eating as clean, which I'll kind of get into in a second. But yeah.
So just go ahead and talk about that. Like what is like your struggle the most that you have found with your weight loss journey with like everything, because this is the first person that we had on here so far who's had like autoimmune system disease.
Okay.
So how does that like play in the part with your weight loss journey? Like, how do you think it was like a little bit more harder for you?
Yeah, for sure. Because before I was diagnosed, there's another time in my life where I lost lost a good amount of weight as well, not as much, but lost a good amount of weight, and I didn't have to work as hard. Of course, I was younger too, but it was a few years, like maybe 5 years ago. But I could eat a little bit more. Like I just didn't have to be as, I feel like, aware of certain things. So I do feel like it's played a part as far as it made it a little tougher. But then at some point, I stopped being like, let me stop making this an excuse. It is a real issue with losing weight when you have these things completely. But I have learned it can still be done. You just have to figure out what can work for you and kind of adjust what you may normally think is going to work for you. So I know for me, and it was like a weird place for me because I have been dealing with this, like I said, for a few years, this autoimmune disease. My doctor had been telling me that there was nothing I could do to fix it. Like I just need to stay on the pills. And then I every year have been getting worse every time I go, because I regularly go every 3 months. And it wasn't until last summer when I lost weight and I completely changed the way I ate that I completely saw almost a reversal every time I went to the doctor. Of course, he didn't really, and that's something that you have to figure out for yourself too when you're dealing with autoimmune diseases. Like doctors are great tools. They help you like keep track of stuff. There's different types of doctors as well. Some take more holistic approaches. Some believe in the science and the medicine, and that's completely okay. But if you feel like over time, if you're not seeing any improvements, explore other things. Like for me, changing the way I eat and just working out more has been like completely changed like how I feel and just all of my numbers as far as like keeping track of like my thyroid and stuff. Like it's completely, I'm like, I'll be my doctor predicts I'll be like in remission very soon. Like I've steadily decreased the medicine I've had to take and just like feeling better. So this is my advice about like if you have an autoimmune disease, like don't let someone tell you like you can't do anything about it, because there's certain things you can do that can be helpful.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that your doctor told you there's nothing you can do.
yeah, he did. And but every doctor is different. Every doctor will recommend things. Yeah. The one I had, he kept saying there's nothing, it has nothing to do with what you're eating or how it's nothing to do with that. It's just like you need to be on these pills. Like, he didn't really believe that.
Yeah, he sounded like he's a medication pumping machine.
yeah. And it's funny because I have a friend that's a doctor. And I reconnected with her a few months ago actually, and she's a doctor like at Harvard and stuff. And I was telling her about my situation, and she was like, yeah, sometimes doctors do, everyone is different. She's like, yeah, I would have told you, you need to make these lifestyle changes as well. That's going to make a difference. And so it made me feel better because I was like, it's good to know there are doctors out there though who will say there are other things you can do.
There's definitely other naturally.
Yeah.
So with what you said, like you mentioned, like with your eating.
Yes.
So what like, I know you said you just went cold turkey. So with like your eating, what like steps that you do in order to, get to where you're at?
Yeah, I know for me, I wanted to focus more on just eating fresh whole foods and lean meats. So I kind of like, and then just cutting out so much processed food. So I think it helped me because I always have had an issue with kind of like overeating and like binge eating. So for me, it helped me to like give myself a window of time that I ate food. I don't want to so much say I'm like, because I don't really believe in following specific plans, but it was more loose. Like, okay, Ashley, you know that you have a bad habit at night. You're gonna like go in, so you need to stop eating by like this time. And that helped me only because of my issues with binging. But as far as like what I was eating, just sticking to stuff like a lot of I ate vegetables with every single meal. A serving at least. And then I also ate like just chicken, turkey, fish. And then I also ate like snacked on like nuts. So kind of like, I guess people might say more of like a, just keeping it lean. But I will say, because like I said, I've done this journey before, and that's like some advice I give people, like, you don't have to be perfect. Like this time around, there have been times that I lost weight in a very unhealthy way. Like I was in a super calorie deficit, but this time around I did not do that. I still ate every meal, and I still sometimes ate carbs. I added in bread. So it was all about moderation for me, and it still got me to my goals. So that's something that I have learned, that you can eat your favorite stuff, but learn better ways to make it and still enjoy that stuff. Because I found if you restrict yourself so much, yeah, it may work for like a little bit of time, but then eventually you're gonna like go back to like wanting that stuff again, at least for me. So
Yeah.
I think that's like the biggest thing for me was like the nutrition. And then working out wise, I was working out like just about every day. When I first was losing weight, I did a lot of videos because the pandemic happened last year. So we're at home. And I'm someone that has always worked out on and off for most of my adult life. So that's the funny thing. I always tell people I am an experiment in that you have to change your nutrition because I have always worked out, but I've worked out in different ways. So I would the pandemic showed me though you can work out at home and still lose weight. Because I'm not gonna lie, before I was a gym person, I felt like you could not get good workouts at home. But now I don't even go back to the gym because I've created I've bought equipment, I have my own stuff at home. I have the ways I like to work out, and I have had the most success. And previously I was going to the gym all the time. So not to bash the gym is great.
Yeah, the gym is great.
Yes, it's great because I still go here and there and I love group exercise classes. But yeah, so I just worked out at home. And I also, something I did differently this time around too. In the past, I would work out for like 3-4 hours in the past when I had tried to lose weight. This time I don't work out for more than 30 minutes to an hour. If it's longer than that, it's just because I do like to work out. So maybe I'll go for a walk after I do like a strength workout or something like that. But I also learned you don't have to work out all day. And you can get efficient results. And actually it's more efficient because I'm going to go hard and do what I need to do in that shorter amount of time than before. Might take little breaks, go to the sauna if I'm at the gym, chit chat, then go back and do a set. So yeah, so that's like, I guess my journey this time was just like consistently working out because that helped, I feel like, support my having good nutrition throughout the day for me.
Yeah. Would you say that's the most important thing that you have learned on your fitness journey?
Yeah. I would say you talking about as far as like just having good nutrition and yeah, I would say, yeah, that's like my most important thing that I've learned, and just that, like I said, you don't have to be perfect. Because I think it's funny, like being in this space now, because I started Instagram too, for my fitness, wellness stuff, when I started this journey this time, which is very out of my comfort zone, believe it or not. Like I'm very social and talkative, but I'm also very private, and I always had wanted to do that, but I was like, I'm gonna do it this time. And it's opened the door to so many people talking to me, like in my life, about like, like weight loss or what they're doing. But one thing that I hate that I feel like a lot of people do though is like people are very negative on themselves.